Laser sights increase confidence regardless of experience level, whether you're learning the fundamentals or overcoming aging eyes. Crimson Trace, making laser sight standard equipment. Visit crimsontrace.com to find a dealer near you.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, hear directly from the former wizard behind the Facebook curtain on why gun owners are hardly on the radar of the world's largest social media platform. Plus, new guns, predictions for the new year, your comments, questions, and range reports, and the latest news. And as always, call in to 866-TALK-GUN. That's Tom Talk Gun. And now, here's Tom Gresham.
Holy cow, we have a full sled today. We can just pile it on there. We're going to, those reindeer that are pulling us around, they're going to be working. Hope that you had a great Christmas. By the way, I'm Tom Gresham. It's Gun Talk. Glad that you could be with us. If you don't know Gun Talk, we talk about everything that involves guns. New guns, old guns, how to shoot them, how to store them, how to take care of them, which guns to get, which guns to get rid of. The answer to that is easy. None. And of course, there's new stuff coming out all the time. Some new things that we'll be able to talk about. Some we can't quite yet, but there's stuff coming. Also, we give away things here. By the way, a big shout out, Charlie B. Charlie B. in Mississippi won the Crimson Trace Light Laser and Optic giveaway. Now we have a new one going on. I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go, but if you want to run over to guntalk.com/win, W-I-N, take a look. You're going to be astounded, amazed. Well, I mean, come on. It's a P320 and a P365 and an MPX PCC and a BDX 1400 combo kit. Yeah, SIG stuff. Guntalk.com/win. So many things to talk about. A South American country where the incoming president says, yeah, we should give people back their gun rights. What? And the New York Times saying, yeah, well, if the government won't do it, we should have the credit card companies track gun owners and shut them down if they want to buy more than one gun. Yeah, I know. There's no end to what they will do. Anything, any way to ban guns. Well, along those lines, one of the major companies, one of the major outlets out there of information, conduits through which information flows, obviously is Facebook. And a lot of people have scratched their heads on the gun side thing, saying, you know, why do they have this policy? Why do they do that? What's going on there? Well, joining us right now to kind of help us peek behind the curtain and find out what's going on there, or why it does, Chuck Rossi. He's the former director and engineer at Facebook. Chuck, thank you for joining us here at Gun Talk.
Hey, Tom, thanks for the invitation.
You bet. Look, you know, I mean, obviously Facebook is like this behemoth. It is ubiquitous. It's everywhere. People use it like crazy. I do. It has all these policies that we kind of don't know how it all happens. And on the gun side, I guess, help me out here. It's basically you can't advertise guns. You can't have anything that has anything to do with selling guns. But also there's this relatively new policy that you can't even have an ad for gun accessories like scopes and optics and all, unless you set it up so that people under 18 years old can't see it. How does all that happen internally?
Yeah, it is a bit of a maze, and it is a bit confusing on the outside because there's kind of multiple policies internally and multiple pages where you got to go look at different policies. But
I think we've got a bad cell phone connection. There he is. All right, he's back. All right, go ahead.
Can you?
Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. All right, let's do this, guys. I'm going to run to a quick break here. We're going to try to call Chuck back. Chuck, hold on. We're going to give you a holler back in just a second. We've got a bad cell phone connection. We're going to see if we can do something about that. In the meantime, it'll be your chance to get in line. If you've got a question about this, if you'd like to join us, the number here is 866-TALK-GUN, 866-TALK-GUN, or just Tom Talk Gun. And as always, looking for those range reports. And today, range reports could be, what did you get for Christmas? Any guns, ammos, optics, anything? I'd like to know. 866-TALK-GUN.
Laser sights increase confidence, regardless of experience level. Whether you're learning the fundamentals, a seasoned shooter, or simply overcoming aging eyes, laser sights provide instant feedback, providing immediate confidence and enjoyment for a new shooter. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn more about why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Want great deals on guns, ammunition, and gear? Download the free Gundealio app today. With Gundealio, you can search for deals, listen to the Gun Talk podcast, watch gun videos, read gun news, and get notifications right to your phone about deals and special offers. Save money on the products you want from the companies you love. New deals, discounts, and rebates added daily. Gundealio, available for free in the App Store and Google Play.
Brownells has gone retro. Check out Brownells' new line of retro AR-15 and AR-style 308 rifles at brownells.com/retro. Whether you're looking for Eugene Stoner's original 308 design, the famous M16A1, Air Force 601, or the XM177 carbine, Brownells has the classic, new production, old-school rifle of your dreams. Own the firearm you used in basic training, carried in service, or that Grandpa always talks about. See more at brownells.com/retro.
All right, back with you. We were able to get Chuck back in here, Chuck Rossi, from former director and engineer at Facebook. Chuck, you were starting to explain to us how the process works inside Facebook when we have these, what I would certainly consider to be anti-gun rights policies. But how does all that happen?
Sure. So it's confusing because it is kind of different depending on if it's content that you produce as just a user versus commerce and ads that you would do of your business. You should note that for businesses, for business pages, you can absolutely have guns for sale and ammo for sale on a page of business.
I didn't know that. So a gun store could have a Facebook page and have guns for sale there? I'm sorry, we just got a really terrible connection with Chuck right now. We're going to see what we can do. Tell you what, guys, put him on hold, and you guys see if there's a way to round him up, if there's maybe another phone he can jump to. In the meantime, one of the things I was going to, and let me know when you get him back in here. One of the things that has happened at Facebook a number of times is that companies in the gun business have a Facebook page, and they've built up tens of thousands, maybe more than 100,000 people following their page. And Facebook's like the superhighway. It's like being on the interstate. And you got your business there, and you got your big sign out, and you're bringing people in. And they get up one morning and go there, and the page is gone. It's just gone. And they've spent months and years and tens of thousands of dollars building this commerce site up, this avenue up. And all of a sudden they flipped a switch and it's just gone. I don't know. And, I remember, what was it, 3 weeks ago I was talking to a congressman and I mentioned this kind of thing. He said, well, that's private business and, they can do what they want to. And because we were working on the Fast and Furious deal and he's trying to get a hold of the government squashing rights, gun rights. And I said, I'm generally a capitalist, a free market kind of person. But at a certain point, the question becomes, at a certain point, does a company become so large and so dominant, particularly in the flow of information, that it actually has the ability to squelch commerce, to squelch free speech? And the capitalist side of me says, okay, yeah, but the government shouldn't have anything to do with that. But at a certain point, you have to kind of look at the reality of it and say, if this is a major form of communication. Should one person, one group, one cluster of millennials that you can never talk to have the ability to tell you, no, you can't talk about that. No, you can't advertise that. No, you can't put that picture up. So, that's kind of my question. We got Chuck back here. Chuck, I was just asking, Facebook is so large now, it's almost, I wouldn't say a monopoly, but it has an incredible power. And when it has the power to shut down your speech, that becomes problematic. And I'm a capitalist and I'm a free speech kind of guy and free enterprise. But I get torn on this one. And I know it's probably a conversation that takes place around there and that you've been a part of.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't like when things are taken down, but at the same time, I don't really trust the government to come in and kind of regulate that to death. And
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Yeah, exactly. So what do we do with that?
I think you continue to complain. I mean, the policies are out there, and I kind of started to talk about the content versus the commerce. You can do a bunch of stuff. There's a lot of leeway on Instagram and Facebook for you to, if you're a business especially, to put up your stuff for sale. You're a business page, you have access, and it's the biggest business platform in the world. You have it. Use it. Right. Now, if you're shut down or harassed because of it, you got to make some noise. And that's the most effective thing to do, is to get that press, to get that complaint, if you will, out there saying, hey, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, but yet I still have my page, my business page is shut down, or my profile is locked.
How does that happen? Who has the power to flip the switch? Because people come in the morning and their page that had 100,000 followers and friends, and they're doing commerce on it, it's just gone. Who did that?
It's it's a combination of automation and reps. They just announced yesterday that if you go read Sheryl Sandberg, or I think also Mark posted publicly about the top 5 things they're working on, and one of the things, bullet points, is they're going from 10,000 outsourced reps to 30,000 outsourced reps. So the training system and the infrastructure built to get those reps to be the best in the world at what they do is taking some time. But that's what they need to do. It's a customer service. You don't have to get religious or particularly like. It's a customer service issue. Attack it like a customer service issue. I am getting terrible customer service. It is inconsistent, unclear, unhelpful. I'm having, you're seeing sudden, arbitrary policy changes I don't understand. These policies are less than logical, or, there's heavy punitive action against me for no reason. Mm-hmm. There's weak to no support. Like, these bullet points are the things you want to bring up.
Okay. Hey, Chuck, hold on a second. I got to take my break here. I'm glad we got you back. We've got a better phone. We're talking with Chuck Rossi, formerly of Facebook. We'll be talking about that when we come back. 866-TALK-GUN.
Your everyday carry advantage. The new M&P Shield M2.0 pistol from Smith & Wesson has the enhancements of the M2.0 line with aggressive grip texture and a crisp and lighter trigger pull. Extremely thin and lightweight, you can carry it all day. Also available with an integrated Crimson Trace laser in 9 or 40. The M&P Shield M2.0. Visit smith-wesson.com.
This land, once wild and free, fades now from our memory. But I remember what it was like. What we were like, what we are capable of when we band together. Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. These natural wonders are where waterfowl begin their cycle of life, where the deer and the antelope play, and where we, the people, gather together to see and share what makes the outdoors so great. The time is now to band together with organizations like Ducks Unlimited. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
Built to perform in the harshest conditions, the Ruger American pistol can take it all, from ice to dust and everything in between. The Ruger American pistol features a short take-up trigger, Novak sights, and a recoil-reducing barrel cam with low mass slide for reduced felt recoil. Plus, a modular grip system with 3 sizes to fit almost any hand. Check it out at Ruger.com. the Ruger American Pistol, because anything else would be un-American.
All right, we're back here talking with Chuck Rossi. Chuck, let me ask you, are you, I gather you are a bit of a gun guy yourself.
Sure. I've been doing USPSA and 3-gun are my main activities. And I take a lot of people. I'm an NRA certified instructor, and I take a lot of people for the first time out. I've taken over 1,000 Facebook people out to the range, many for their first time.
When you say Facebook people, are you talking about Facebook employees?
Yeah, as part of like offsite activities, team building, whatever. One of the options was to go to the range with me, and I'd take groups of 15 up to 20 at a time, and we'd do a safety orientation the day before, and then a full day at the range, going from 0 to dueling tree by the end of the day.
That's awesome. All right, so, I mean, I think I know the answer before I ask it, but what's the general reaction when people go out and try it for the first time?
Well, I don't need to tell you. You know, they love it, right? I mean, some of these people have never seen a gun in real life, and many come from overseas here on green cards and visas for the great work that they do, and they're completely intrigued, and they kind of get it's part of the culture here, it's part of their rights here, and many are intrigued, and many are afraid. But a nice, gentle introduction with myself and another very good instructor. We get them up to speed, not a political, not an indoctrination, but just like, hey, here's what it is. If you hate it and never want to do it again, that's great, but you had the experience. You know what the heck you're doing now. You know what you're talking about. You know what the objects are. The vast majority want to come back for more.
It's, I've said often that when you do that, you vaccinate them against the misinformation, because what somebody tells you can never trump what you've experienced yourself. And when you go out and shoot, you go, this is fun. And the people we went out with, they're like really nice, and they're safe, and they're conscientious, and they're responsible. And all that junk that you get fed from other sources kind of rolls off of you once you have that personal experience.
That's exactly true. I've seen it firsthand, just like I say, hundreds and hundreds of times. That's
amazing. How did you get into doing that? I mean, a process of offering that through Facebook.
So I've been there a long time. I have some seniority, and somebody came to me. They knew I was a gun guy, and they're like, hey, I want to take my team to the range for our team building thing. And I said, well, there's really no place to do that. There's nothing set up. And then without thinking, I said, well, geez, I could do it for you. And next thing you know, I'm doing it, twice a month.
Yeah, be careful what you say there, man. There you go. And you're thinking, wait, did I just say that?
That was pretty much the process. Yeah, that's what happened.
Well, that's cool. Well, going back to the Facebook deal, because I mentioned that we've had, a number of gun companies or accessory makers that come in and their page is gone. One of the issues always has been, how do you find the right person? How can you actually contact Facebook? If they're going to triple the number of reps, that's going to help significantly, I would hope.
It can, as far as escalations and appeals and things like that. You're right. It's very hard to get noticed. And this is a sheer numbers game. Again, this is not, people do better not to kind of take a political stance like, Facebook hates this. Facebook hates everything if you really want to look at the big picture, because, it takes down stuff across the spectrum, because there's billions of pieces of content, created per day. Okay. So you just need to somehow get attention and say like, hey, I had a bad customer experience situation. I was complying with policy and you did the wrong thing. Regardless of what the content was, it was like, hey, you made the wrong call here. I can't tell you exactly where to go. There are some, if you search around, you can find some links for appeals and things, but you do want to basically keep at it.
That's interesting. So don't assume that they're doing it because it's a gun thing, because, of course, frankly, we're a little bit sensitive to it since we've gotten beat on through the years from every direction.
Sure.
And we kind of just knee-jerk go to, well, geez, they took me down because I'm a gun guy or I sell gun products. What you're saying is, look, they're taking everybody down. Don't feel special about this. Just go get it fixed.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And, again, there's not like this big internal kind of thought process to specifically have it out for gun owners. It's just that it's still, it's evolved. There's never been a worldwide network where there's 2.2 billion people sharing stuff at this rate, right? So these situations, this infrastructure is still developing itself. So we need to put in signal to say like, hey, you're not doing well on this particular vertical, this particular area. I know you have a gun policy for whatever reason, but let's do better at execution of these policies, right?
Is there a possibility or a way that the gun policy itself could be addressed and possibly changed? So, I mean, specifically the idea of saying that people under 18 years old can't see an ad for a scope or a sight or an accessory, and you've got 13-year-olds shooting 3-gun out there. That just makes no sense at all to me.
Yeah, I pushed back hard on that. Again, it's kind of like, well, if we just wash our hands of it and just set this, it takes a lot of grief off our plate. That was more the decision. Like, what, this is such a niche thing. It's too small. It's going to take so much effort to kind of get it 100% right. Let's just do this, cover our rear end, and it's okay, and we can move on to the next problem. So again, it's just a matter of kind of numbers and how big the space is for that policy to change.
If you had enough of us saying something, maybe the voice gets loud enough to get somebody's attention. But I understand when you're looking at $2.2 billion, it's pretty hard to represent any kind of significant slice of that.
Yeah, but it doesn't, I'm not saying we should give up. I'm saying we should absolutely keep the pressure on, saying, hey, there's a bigger and bigger portion of pro shooters and enthusiasts in the under 18 category that it makes sense that they should be able to see, scopes and hunting gear and holsters and belt accessories and whatever. Just keep advocating for it.
Okay. Chuck Rossi, I just got to applaud you for everything that you have done there, taking all these people out and introducing them to shooting and being a good voice for gun owners and responsible gun ownership within Facebook, and for helping us understand a little bit more about what's going on inside, man. Thank you so much.
Glad to do it, Tom. Thank you.
All right. You take care. All right. That's fascinating. I do. We probably all do. We default to they're doing this because we're gun people and they're all out to get us. Well, in many cases that is true, but it can be that, they just screwed up. And I have seen them come back and put pages back up and go, yeah, you're right, we screwed up. There's something, and maybe it wasn't about the guns. Maybe it was just somebody messed up. Or maybe it was about guns and they still messed up. 866-TALK-GUN. Have you had any occurrences like that?
Good morning, Mr. Gresham. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to host a radio show that will bring truth and common sense to the discussion of firearms rights in this country. Good luck, Tom, to you and your Tom Gresham's Gun Talk team.
In the people are interesting category, a couple of days ago on Twitter, by the way, you can follow me on Twitter. I am at Gun Talk, where I put up lots of information, news stories, ways that you can stay informed, get informed, all of that. But on Twitter, I put up the information about the new giveaway we're doing with SIG. And in case you didn't catch it first of the show, it's astounding, honestly. It's if you go to guntalk.com/win, you'll be able to enter for a chance to win on this giveaway. Stuff we're giving away, 4 different prize packages. So there are going to be 4 different winners, right? Prize package 1 is a SIG P320 M17. That's their very cool 9mm pistol with 100 rounds of ammo. Prize pack 2, the SIG P365. Yes, the one you can't find, with 100 rounds of ammo. Let's see. Prize pack 3, a SIG MPX PCC. Yes, the rifle, the cool MP. Well, that's actually the pistol. With 100 rounds of 110 grain elite ball ammo, and prize pack 4, the BDX 1400 combo kit. These are astounding packages, okay? So I put it up on Twitter. One of the first comments is a guy says, I'm not interested. I'm really not interested in 9mm. What? All right, you got the P320. This is the pistol that the military is using now. Got the P365. It's so hot, it's just hard to find them. The MPX, the BDX, really cool. The very hottest things out from SIG. And the comment was, yeah, no, I'm just not into 9mm. I mean, I'm thinking, well, at the very worst that could happen is you win, and then you use that as trading stock. Or you could actually educate yourself and learn a little bit more about 9mm and how effective it is. He said, well, I just don't like to carry that for a self-defense gun. Okay. Huh. Look, it's a personal choice. I get that. Some people say, hey, I'll carry anything as long as it starts with a 4. Cool. Whatever you want to do. But at the same time, it's probably a good idea to reevaluate occasionally your decisions, your choices, what's going on in everything, in all things in life. Have things changed? Are my decisions that were made based on information I had years ago, are those decisions still valid? If I were to make that decision now and start fresh, would I come up with the same decision? So, if I made the decision 30 years ago on what to carry, if it were me, personally, I wouldn't be carrying a 9 based on what we had 30 years ago. I'd carry a 45 every time, and did. I carried a 1911. That's what I carried. And then, of course, the 40 came along, and it's kind of like, well, that's a pretty good cartridge. It's actually a very good cartridge, the truth be known. And that became viable. And then something happened, and I don't know where you draw the line on when it happened. It's probably a process, and maybe even started way back 40 years ago with Lee Juris and Super Vel ammo. But really probably something on the order of 20 years ago, we started to get much better ammo. And really kind of came out of, interestingly enough, the FBI Miami firefight, where there were ammo failures. There were a lot of failures, but ammo failures, cartridge failures, caliber failures. But ammo companies started responding because the FBI put out their testing protocol. They said, ammo that we use has to meet this protocol. It has to go through these barriers. It has to expand. It has to go through glass. It has to do all these things. And as a result, ammo companies started making better carry ammo, better self-defense ammo for handguns. And as a result, the sometimes deservedly poor reputation that 9mm had way back, because people generally shot full metal jacket ammo in their 9s. And they said, well, this just is not a good stopper. No, it's not. A 9mm with full metal jacket ammo is not a good stopper when you're trying to keep somebody from hurting you, raping you, kidnapping you, cutting your head off, whatever the stuff is they're trying to do. But you compare that ammo, which was 30, 40 years ago, and a decision you might have made back then, which probably was valid. I don't want to do 9s. Okay, cool. But is that decision still valid today with all the incredibly good ammo we have now? In fact, you've heard me say it. I would put out the argument that a 380 with modern good ammo is a very good choice for self-defense. I know the old timers are going, you got to be kidding me. And I know. And I always respond, have you tested it? Are you still working on the decisions that you made 30 or 40 years ago? And frankly, 9mm ammo today is very good. And statistically, when you look at a number of shootings, police shootings and self-defense shootings, you find that there is no difference. Here's the important part. Here's the real takeaway, okay? There's no difference between the 9, the 40, and the 45 in its ability to stop an attacker. Now, that's interesting. If there's no difference, and here's where it gets really interesting. If there's no difference, it's going to take, generally, it takes 2.5 hits with any handgun, 9, 40, or 45 at least. If it's going to take 2.5 hits, would you rather carry the bigger bullets, the bigger cartridges, the 45s, and have fewer of them? Or would you rather carry the 9s, which statistically are just as effective and have more of them? Or possibly have a smaller gun? Bigger versus more. Not a new concept at all. And it also, think about this, what does it allow you to do? What allows you to get into these smaller guns, the Glock 43, the SIG P365, and in 380s, the bodyguards, a lot of the LCPs, for heaven's sakes. Amazingly small guns. Speaking of which, remember think we were talking a few weeks ago. I mentioned that SIG, of course, has had such a great success with their P365 pistol, the 10+1 9mm. And I said, other companies have to be bringing those out. I am certain that before long we're going to be seeing other companies bringing out similar guns, something similar. Would you consider going to something like that? I'd love to get your take on it. 45, 40, 9mm. How'd you come to the decision for your carry gun or your home defense gun? What made you decide that, and when did you make that decision? And frankly, have you reevaluated? Let's talk about that. 866-TALK-GUN. How did you pick your home defense caliber? Oh, okay. I'd love you to give us a holler. 866-TALK-GUN. All right. So I used to carry a 45. I was a 1911 guy, right? And now I carry a 9. There was a short period of time where I carried a 40. Not really very long. And I don't know what it is. It's funny. Rob Latham, who I respect enormously, world champion everything, pistol shooter, he says, I may be the last guy who really loves the 40 as a defense caliber. It just, often doesn't get the respect it deserves, probably, the 40. You can carry just about as many rounds as you can with a 9, and it no doubt hits harder. Some don't like it, frankly, because they go out and shoot it, and it has a little bit more recoil. It does. Physics is just physics. It's math. The numbers have to add up. And you have more energy going out the front, you're going to have more energy coming back in your hand. And that's just the way that's going to be. So, there it is. The other question I had on the floor is, did you get a gun? Did you give a gun for Christmas? Anything new? I was looking, and we'll talk a little bit later in the show. We're going to be having somebody on from Remington. I was looking at their website and looking at all the hunting variations of AR-15s and AR-10s, the two different sizes. And I had a weird thought. I'm going to throw this out for your consideration. We have the gun banners going nuts still over semi-automatic guns. And the absolute normalization of the AR platform, whether it's 15 or 10, two different sizes, shooting the 223 size platform or the 308 size platform, the total normalization of that for hunting. You see them out hunting. People are using them for varmint hunting, for deer hunting, for elk hunting, for moose hunting. It's kind of like, yeah, okay. It's just a rifle. It's a modern rifle, not real modern. Been out for 50 years. Is there a possibility? I'm just kind of playing with this thought here, but I'm working on it. Is there a possibility that we gun owners are going to become lackadaisical and lazy, thinking that, well, everybody understands that these are just rifles and hunters use them and everything else. Why do we need to fight this? At the same time that the anti-gunners are ramping up on this. I don't know. Just, a thought for you. Let's go to line 3. Kevin's with us out of Dallas, Texas. Hey, Kevin, thanks for calling.
Hey, Tom. I just had one comment, and that is, anybody that's not concerned about the ATF reversing course on their bump stock ban and owns a brace for an AR-15 pistol should be concerned, because if they can change course on one, they can on the other. I'll speculate that a lot more people own braces for AR-15 pistols than do bump stocks, but just forewarned, they can do that as well.
Well, that's an interesting point, because the pistol brace for the AR, that was okayed with a letter from ATF, as was the bump stock. And then their position today is, yes, we did issue a letter on bump stocks that said they're quite legal and not a problem. And you know what? We were probably wrong when we did that. And, basically, we're not even going to say we're sorry that you guys bought all these, 500,000 of them. But we're going to tell you now that was actually illegal. It was a violation of law. It was actually a felony. But we're going to give you a 90-day period to get right with this. I don't know, to your point, Kevin, I don't know what would keep them from doing the exact same thing with the pistol arm brace.
it was the first thing I thought about, because they came out with, their legal opinion on both of these devices kind of similarly. And, of course, I've got a selfish interest here that I've got a suppressed 300 Blackout pistol is my go-to home defense firearm, and it has a brace on it. So it would affect me directly, and and I don't like the thought of it.
Interesting. Now, were you listening, was it a week or two ago when we had the lawyer on who was bringing the lawsuit against ATF on the bump stock ban? And his advice to everyone who has a bump stock is, look, don't do anything yet. Let us work through the lawsuit. Don't get rid of them. Don't destroy them. Don't sell them. Just ignore it for right now, because he sounded absolutely certain that he could get this thing reversed.
I was listening, and I hope he's right. But for anyone that is, I know the bump stock is sort of a novelty, but if we let this stand, it will embolden the ATF's ability to change their mind on things. And I just think braces are a lot bigger deal than bump stocks. So I don't want to see them go the same way. That's
well, of course, Kevin, I know you know this, but in a number of states, when they've introduced the so-called anti-bump stock measures, they'll tell you that's what it is. But when you actually look at it, it says, or anything that allows a firearm to be fired more quickly than with a standard trigger, standard configuration. Well, that could be obviously the binary trigger, but also it could just be an aftermarket trigger that has a better feel. They could say, well, you can't have that either because that increases the rate of fire.
Totally agree. It could be as broad as they want it to be.
This is where I kind of go back to our previous guest from Facebook, and he said, look, he says, you got to speak up. You got to have a voice. You got to be loud. You got to have numbers. And I think it's exactly the same, because this is a political decision from ATF. That's not all it is. This is not based on anything technical. Nothing has changed. Before they said it was okay, and then after the shooting in Las Vegas, because of political pressure, they came back and said, okay, well, yeah, we're going to change that, and too bad for you guys, but if you don't get rid of them, it's a felony, and you could go to federal prison, the same as owning a machine gun without a license. Totally a political decision, and that's where voices count. And and I hear what you're saying, which is, and I've heard a lot of gun owners say, look, I don't care. They're kind of toys. They're goofy things. Who cares about bump stocks? And your point is, yeah, but if you set the precedent of saying, yeah, I don't really care that you guys, in essence, entrapped us. It's okay because I don't own one. It's that old deal of, I didn't own bump stocks, so I didn't speak up, And then they came for the binary triggers. I didn't speak up. And then they came for the aftermarket triggers, and I didn't speak up. And then they came after all of my guns, and there was no one left to speak up for me. Kevin, thank you for your call. I appreciate it. I think you raised an absolutely accurate point. I guess possibly the takeaway is, if you think there's any merit to what I'm saying here and what Kevin's saying, time for you to get on board. And how do you do that? Probably letters to the ATF. They're going to have a comment period. Well, actually, they didn't have a comment period. Maybe, they did, but it was all screwed up. Maybe calling your congressman. Yeah. Maybe rallying your gun club. All of your shooters who say, yeah, who cares about that? You go, yeah, but what about your arm brace? What about binary triggers? What about aftermarket triggers? What about Timney triggers? What about? And if you're not paying attention to this, you don't actually know what's going on. 866-TALK-GUN. Agree or disagree? All right, Franco joins us right now. He's on line 1 out of Minnesota, where it's just about as chilly as it is up here where I am in Idaho. Hey, Franco.
Hello there. Yeah, it's a little cold out. It's about 32, which is not that bad right now. It was 14 this morning.
Yeah, we got snow all over the place here. Everybody's out skiing, snow machining, and all that good stuff. How are you? And tell me what you got for Christmas, my friend.
Well, several years back, something happened and got me a little nervous, and so I went out and purchased 2 lowers. Well, I built my first Franken rifle off of one of the lowers, and I still had the other one sitting around. Right. And so you mentioned a week or so back that Palmetto State Armory gun parts kit for $260.
Yes.
Santa Claus's helper, his Italian helper, Santa Franco, bought me a kit. like I was telling Michelle, I'm still waiting for the elves to put it together.
Well, here's the funny part. I have one of those waiting for me when I get home because I went online and bought one myself. So I'm in the same boat. I'm going to have to get a little help from my friends because, and I will freely admit, people go, oh, yeah, you do all this stuff. No, I don't. I'm not mechanical. Everybody knows that. So this will be the first time I've actually put one together from scratch. So I'm going to have a knowledgeable person looking over my shoulder.
I had tried. When I bought the lower, I bought a DPMS parts kit, trigger parts. Mm-hmm. And I got started, and I'm handling the little springs, and all of a sudden, bang! I'm like, oh, man. And that kind of put the end. We tried to put it together, so now I go to the local gunslinger and have Hart Brothers do it for me.
Well, okay, so what's your plan for this rifle?
To shoot it.
Just shoot it. Just it's like there's no why here. It's just because I can and I want to, and it's fun.
Exactly. Well, it's like, come on, the guy at Midway USA, his wife.
Oh yeah, Larry Potterfield.
How many shoes do you know? What do you mean? How many shoes? How many guns? Yeah, I'm one of those crazy.
Exactly.
People.
I love it. People say, how many guns do you have? And my standard answer when I was being interviewed by MSNBC, they said, well, how many guns do you own? And I stopped for a minute. I looked at them and I said, well, more than I need, but not as many as I want.
Exactly.
Which is my polite way of saying, none of your business.
Exactly. Well, I kind of wanted a little more like standard or kind of retro. With that barrel shroud, that's a little more like, with Brownells has come out with the retro. But I've got one, my first one is all tricked out. It's got that heat dissipating barrel that I mentioned a month or so back, and with the fancy handguard. And I love that, but I kind of like the old school look as well.
And it's nice to have, well, first of all, of course, you have to have more than one AR because it's like having one. It's like having one golf club, But also, if you're going to do this, one of them should be a really simple and lightweight AR without all the doodads on it, just as simple and as lightweight as you can get, because then you really rediscover why they're so much fun. Franco, congratulations on your Christmas present. You make a good Santa, man.
I did. Yes, thank you.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, you and I will be struggling through this, and we'll both give our range reports when we get them put together and get them out to the range. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. When I come back, we're going to be talking about some rifles from Remington, some of the things they've been doing. Also, I got an email from my friends at Everytown for Gun Safety, and they're explaining to me why I am a racist, and I basically want more dangerous guns on the street. We'll have all that for you when we come back. 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham.